Welcome back, boxing fans. Now we're going to break down the other doubleheader that's happening in Saudi Arabia this weekend, and I think that's a more interesting fight, a more exciting fight potentially on that card. And that's between the one and done man, the former WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder, against the man from New Zealand, Joseph Parker. It's a fight for relevance. It's a fight for Wilder to get to another super fight type payday against Anthony Joshua or either Usyk or, God forbid, Tyson Fury again. And it's the fight for Parker to remain in the heavyweight mix. And it's a fight that's dangerous for both men. So stick around and we'll break it down, and I'll tell you why I think it's a dangerous fight for them. Deontay Wilder, 43 wins, 42 knockouts, 2 defeats and 1 draw. Those 2 defeats and draw, of course, being against Tyson Fury. Had a long hiatus from boxing, came back that's already now more than a year ago, and starched Robert Helenius inside a round, and that's the only action he's seen. Now Wilder is tall, he's rangy, he's got the height and reach advantage over his opponent Joseph Parker. He can box if he wants to box, and I think still technically his best performance was way back when he won the WBC title, outpointing Bermane Stavern. But since then, boxing-wise, skill-wise, he just gone by the wayside, and he fell in love with his power. And who can blame him, because he really can pull a rabbit out of a hat with that power. He almost did in his first match with Tyson Fury, and he almost did so again when he sent Fury down twice before getting stopped himself. So he has got magic in that big right hand. And what's even more amazing for me about Wilder, it's not like he throws it technically correct and perfectly straight like a Tommy Hearns type of right hand. He sometimes just wings it like that, like he did against Helenius, and boom, and it works, and the guy's out. And that's also the danger for a fighter, because they learn to depend on that. And Wilder, what worries me about him is the long inactivity. That's never a good thing. But if you have that kind of power, it's not such a big deal. You'll still remain with that power. You might just have your timing off a little bit. Now, he's fighting Joseph Parker. Now, Parker has been a top heavyweight for long. He's a former WBO title holder. He's 33 wins and 3 losses with 23 knockouts. He's much shorter and not necessarily the smaller man, but shorter with less reach. Wilder is tall and wiry. So Parker is up against it. In his last significant fight, he got knocked out in the 11th round in a war with Joe Joyce, but he's since gotten back to in the winning column, and he looked very impressive in his last fight against Simon Keane, although he didn't have too much in front of him there. He's going to have a lot more in front of him. How does Joseph Parker win this fight? I agree with Tyson Fury. I believe he's my sparring partner sometimes, and Fury said, just stay, don't get hit in the face with that big right hand, and that's the obvious thing, right? So Parker needs to circle away from the Deontay Wilder right hand. He needs to get in and throw on the inside, step away and get out. Now Parker, I think, is a little bit quicker maybe on his feet than Deontay Wilder, not necessarily with his hands. So he can outbox Deontay Wilder, but with Deontay Wilder, like Wilder himself says, you've got to be perfect for 12 rounds, and he only has to be perfect for a few seconds. There's another way you can beat a big puncher, is to get to them before they get to you and just knock them out. So Parker can go the route of moving away from the right hand and attacking, or he can also jump on Deontay Wilder and try and get him out of there early. Now with Wilder, you've got to be all the way out, away from where he can reach you, because he's devastating here, and you've got to be all the way in, where he doesn't have room to punch, because even at the medium range, he can hook that right and he's still dangerous with it. So you either got to be all the way in on his chest on the inside, or you got to be out of his range completely, and you mustn't get caught with in between. So it's a real Russian roulette game fighting Wilder. The other thing that you can do, what Tyson Fury did in the second and the third fight, make him move back, push him back, just attack him physically, overwhelm him, use superior strength that Fury used as a bigger sort of man, the broader guy and weightier guy. Just push him back, because a puncher needs time to set. There's very few people that can knock you out moving back. Sugar Ray Robinson could, there was a middleweight Michael Nunn who could, and one or two others. But I think that is what I don't think Parker has the size and the weight of a Fury. He's not going to be able to do that. So he's going to have to use his speed at the right range, nail Wilder of something and get him out of there, or outbox him. I think Parker, if I look at his mentality when he faced another big puncher, Anthony Joshua, and even Dillian White, to an extent, he did hurt White. He had him going there towards the end, but he left it too long. I don't think Parker is going, like most fighters, they're not going to go and commit sort of suicide in there and risk getting knocked out to knock the other guy out. Parker isn't that kind of guy. Ricardo Mayorga was, but not Parker. So I think Parker is going to try and outbox him. I think he might go for it quickly, but if he does hurt Wilder and he has him in trouble, remember Luis Ortiz did in their first fight, and Wilder came back and he knocked out Ortiz. In the second fight, he outboxed Wilder completely, and then boom, Wilder caught him and it was over. So I don't think Joseph Parker can beat Wilder in the way that Fury did. And I think outboxing him is just a ticking time bomb. You know, it could be that Wilder doesn't find that rhythm. But in the end, I think this will be an exciting fight, because there will be that tension in the air. Guys, tell me in the comment section who you got, Wilder or Parker. How do they win and why do they win? And I always like chatting to you. I appreciate the comments, what you guys like Dilo Chetty and all of you guys do there. Thank you very much for it. But it's hard for me to go against Wilder when it's not a heavyweight like Tyson Fury, because, you know, lots of people have won every round against him, or a handful of people, and then boom, it's all over. Even very sort of mid-range heavyweights have looked good for a while against Wilder, like Spilka, like even Eric Molina, and then it goes pear-shaped for them. So I struggle to see how Joseph Parker is going to stay away for 12 rounds. The ring rust will get shaken off by Wilder, and he'll nail him at some point. Then I think Parker can hurt him definitely, but Wilder has got a lot of dog in him, as the Americans like to say. He's got a lot of heart. He's tenacious. He'll fight until you absolutely almost have to kill him, like against Fury. He'll fight until he drops dead. And that is the mentality of Deontay Wilder that I like about him. And I think he'll survive any tricky spots that he has against Joseph Parker. Guys, please remember, like Deontay Wilder, use your right hands for thumb, punch that like button. But in the end, I think Deontay Wilder is going to catch Joseph Parker at some point, and he's going to take him out. I think it might take a few rounds to get that ring rust off. I don't think he's going to be as easy as against Helenius. But I think Deontay Wilder will make Joseph Parker go home somewhere around 6 and 7, and it will be a tension-filled fight up until then. So that's what I've got. I've got Deontay Wilder winning by knockout. Guys, please remember to share, and please remember to subscribe if you deem the content worthy. I would greatly appreciate that. And until I see you again, remember to keep those hands up.